People want to know how to be in spiritual connection with the Most High. Spirituality doesn't have a particular outlook. It's energy. You know what I'm saying? And this is the power of metaphysics. This is the power of the ether. No matter what you look like, you can change your energy frequency. It might be a lot more fights for you to deal with, but you can still change your frequency. And you got to understand why is this like this. It's because different levels. So if you've never been like this, then of course it's going to be a struggle to walk up that mountain. You've never did it. And if you have some type of, you know, fortuitive information, it might be a little easier for you. Depending on how far you are back physically and mentally and spiritually, that determines on how far you have to go forward for yourself. That doesn't speak to anything but the road, the journey that each individual has to work on. And this is why people get all mixed up saying, well, you know, I'll just try to take somebody else's energy. I'll take a piece of what they have and I'll work some type of magical, mystical, dark shit and fuck up something for them because you know why? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I didn't want to do what I was supposed to do, so I'm going to be even more selfish as I go down this line of life. I'm going to be even more selfish. You know, that's a sickness. That's a mental sickness. Like, you can't even... Like, I don't need an explanation on why somebody's doing something wrong. And I really don't even need an apology at the end of the day. For the most part, you thought about what you was doing. So that subsequently tells me what you are and how you think. Why do I need an apology for something you planned out? We're adults, right? Mistakes don't happen that often. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just oblivious to life. You're not walking... Like, a trip, like, if you trip over a sidewalk, that's a mistake. Like if you ironing your shirt and you leave the iron by accident, you run to go get the bath water and burn your shirt. That's a mistake. You got to answer the door. You cooking and it's too much going on at one time. You answer the door and you burn the food. That's a mistake. Not stealing from your friends. Not lying to somebody that you care about. Not manipulating your family to believe that somebody is in a certain standpoint mentally or physically and depicting on how you see that. All those things are not that. So a mistake is just what a mistake is. And people who are effed up, they're just effed up individuals. So then effed up individuals can gravitate to people who have something inside of them of the same subsequent value. This is why other people entertain the bullshit, because somewhere inside of them, they're fucked up too. No, I don't really hold my tongue on how I want to say something or how I want to put it out. And I don't sit down and be like, I wonder what Divine is going to think about me. Because you know why? Divine knows me. And when I start not being myself is when I feel uncomfortable. Unbeknownst to everybody else, they think using other parts of somebody else is how you're going to make yourself better. That's not how this shit works. You have to listen to somebody and maybe the direction they took might be good for you, but what they did is never going to work for you. It's a completely different existence. That's why when the food that hit my tongue and my stomach don't taste the same to you. We have similarities, but it don't taste the same. We know what cheese tastes like. We know what sauce tastes like. We know what bread tastes like. Those are the similarities, but how I taste it is different. You know what I'm saying? Some people's taste buds have to be trained to taste deeper and have more flavors into one compound situation, like a sauce. That's why chefs can taste. That's why chefs have a trained tongue. It's like an ability. Some of these abilities are natural with people. Some people in this world don't have none of these abilities yet. You know what I'm saying? It's something called young souls. When they come into this world and they just have no understanding on wisdom. And they go around doing things that only serve themselves. It's deep like that. So they die fast. Those ones. And then you have some that have older souls and they have the knowledge, but they still don't choose to change. So they die eventually, and then they come back and start it over again and probably go back through the same shit that they lived before, but worse, because of their choices that they make today. This is energy design. Energy design has to be filtered. If you got a water filter plant and the water you start putting out, the first 100,000 bottles is good, it's great, it hits the standard of what you're looking for, and then the second 100,000 bottles, they're good, but something was off, so you let it go because it didn't hurt anybody. So the third one, it was like really, really worse. So you was like, we got to go and find out why the filtration ain't working right. We got to break that cycle because we see it's getting worse each year. Divine don't make mistakes, people do. And you always have somebody who think they're going to tell you what divine means for everybody and what you should do and what these people here think you should go congregate to and these people what you should offer. Like, this shit is crazy because at the end of the day, you're not putting no focus on you. And whoever you're, pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call them, shaman, whatever, OG, whoever, none of these motherfuckers is teaching you how to connect to your higher self. They don't have focus on you individually, making sure that you get the knowledge that comes to you or teaching you how to focus on your awareness so therefore you can get the particular knowledge that's for you. I don't mind reading in books. I don't mind it. Some books I will tap into sometimes, but you'll hear me in a lot of my bills say, you know what, I don't quote from books because these people have already lived their existence and they quoted things from their time for the people around them, and they wrote books, and whoever stole that and compiled that shit for today is only re-inciting an energy that I don't have to go back and look on. Old energy is old energy. That's why it was yesterday. If it's in the past, it's in the past. It's not going to do nothing for me today. I am a compiled aspect of everything from the past. It's why I'm here now. For me to, you think about it. If you get in a relationship and you hold on to what happened with you and Susie or you and Billy or whatever, and then you get in a new relationship and you talking to this new person, whether the girl talking or the boy talking to either, and y'all complaining about everything that happened. You know what happens in your new relationship? It ends. Because you keep bringing up old shit. She like, what about me? He like, what about me? I'm here now. But you constantly talk about some shit that ain't even relevant. You know what that person, one of the other, they get tired. They're like, yo, I'm sorry you had a bad breakup with your last person. Maybe you should go back and try to work it out because that's all you talk about. Think about this concept in reality when we keep pulling on the past. The African understanding, the Egyptian understanding, all this. Yeah, they there to give us some understanding, awareness. That's what you tap into, the thoughts. You tap into the know-how of how to move. The placement of them in the physical time has nothing to do with us now. A lot of us is calling on that shit. They calling on that shit. And I'm not mad at what some of these celebrities are saying and doing. That shit is cool. But it's not about what happened in the past. It's about the solution today. Like, how we gonna bring the powerful solution to the understanding of what should be? Opposed to saying, yo, this person did that, this person did this. Everything's gonna happen the right way. But my right hand is supposed to tell my left hand what I'm doing. Right hand will never get nothing done. If my right hand keep telling my left hand everything's going on, right hand never get nothing done because he always runs his mouth. You got to let people know something. You got to go ahead and let it be known. You messed up. You shouldn't have said nothing until you had accomplished some shit first. Kanye, sorry, brother. I respect you, but you should have been quiet until you accomplished something. Like, I don't know why people don't get it at the end of the day. Like, you get a level of power and you still don't execute because of the excitement. You know what I'm saying? That shows you the level of understanding. Like, yeah, certain monkeys can take a stick and stick it in a hole and pull out ants. And then they eat the ants off the stick. The aardvark take his nose and stick it in a hole with his tongue and pull out ants and eat it off the tongue like the stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, the DNA is capability. The DNA is capability. It shows you your level of capability with the circumstances that are still at the same altitude. All the problems that's been here on the earth is still the same problems that's here on the earth. It's like 1,000,001 different coloring books at different levels of paintings that you would have to color in. And they all here. It's just that when you get to it, the color go away and you get to drawing it the way you want. And let's see if you can stay in the lines. Let's see if you can create it right, because it's there for you. It's not like you doing nothing new. All this shit is here. It's just that when you get to see the outline of that again, can you fill it up the right way so it's complete? So what they do, they give us all this bullshit. Soy. You know what I'm saying? They put all this fake this and fake that in everything. And they try to mess up your perception system. They try to mess with the part of your brain. I took my tongue right now. I'm at a brain fart. I can't remember what it is. Whatever. The back part of your brain that allows you that deals with your motor skills and your eating and all this other stuff. That part of your brain. Because you only use the other part of your brain. So they focus on that. They focus on that to turn it up to a higher value. So now things you eat, things you watching, the energy in the air is subsequently serving that part of your brain. So now when it's time for you to think on a higher level of how to execute things that are not normal, think about what I'm saying. When it's time for you to execute something about things that are not on your normal circumference field of vibration, you can't. Because naturally your mind reverts back to the fight or flight mode. Or I'm stepping out of the safe zone, so I got to try to protect this. Yo, this is what I'm doing. So you start yelling, start screaming, get defensive. This is the problem with the world is. It ain't always the people who got the issue. Yeah, that issue always going to be there. There's no new situation under the sun. It's the same problems. They just orchestrate it different times. They keep being orchestrating the same shit over and over and over. Just to see if you can move the Rubik's Cube a little different. Square gets a circle. Circle gets a square. Circle gets a square. Inclined minds will understand. I'm just saying, man. You got to overstand, understand, and understand what's going on. For yourself, not for the outlook of everybody else, but for you. Because when you light up your true senses of the actual reality of how these things play out, despite what you hear, just how you feel it, then your energy itself starts to serve a higher purpose, which will help delegate other energies that are just not awakened yet, but they're awakened just by the way you move. It'll be your motion. That's the first level of communication. The body motion. Seeing how that body rise off that electricity. I'm gonna drop another joint soon because I found the PFA. I think it's called PFA, whatever. Of this book that a good friend of mine sent me, and it had it had the time back when Germany was recording the rise of the original man, and they was in their Christ aspect, and they wasn't saying that this was one Christ that did it. It was saying all people was popping off at this one time, and this artist was drawing these pictures. He was illustrating what was taking place at that time. So it wasn't speaking of a Christ. It was speaking of everybody reaching a Christ mentality. And then it also speaks about in the book how it shows you how the original artworks were what they were, what they are, and how they tried to whitewash the original artworks to change the story. And they would like erase like halos and all this other crazy stuff. I got that. If I just found it, I got it. It's a lot of, man, it's like over thousands and thousands of pages. I didn't know it was that long. It's probably like 2,000-3,000 pages. I had to look at it again and see how many pages. But I got to sit down and make something small, you know what I'm saying, just so y'all can look at it real quick to show you that this conscious awareness, this higher spirituality, it connects to everything in existence. It is existence itself. On the lower level, it's physical. On the higher level, it's through the roof spiritual. But it's all connected. It's a pathway in and out. I ain't going to hold you because we have 14 minutes, 15 minutes. I ain't never talked this long, but you already know the vibes. If you know what I'm saying, got this far, you like what I'm dropping, you already information in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, you know what I'm saying, share if you must. You already know the vibes. NAGA.